Welcome to football season here at Pub Talk. It's time to pop the top off with Pub Talk. Today, we got NFL Week 1 action, Week 2 of college football, Hops of the Week, and our brand new segment, Pub Talk All-Stars. But before we begin, Pub Talk is brought to you by Route 11 Chips. It is football season. Weekends are all about college and NFL football. Just by sitting on the couch or throwing a huge football party, you're going to need some chips. And Route 11 has got you covered. Since 1992, Route 11 has been chipping away to give its consumers a great and tasty product. So make sure you check out your local Martin's, Food Lion, and Giant to pick up a bag today. All right, let's do this. Welcome back to Pub Talk. The new intro music is getting us very hyped up. It's football season here at Pub Talk. Welcome back. Brought to you by Route 11 Chips. We have Bit back on the show. We don't have too many friends around here in Virginia, I can tell you that much.
Yeah, we had two guys cancel on us,
And
man.
then we also have Pat back. He wanted to join us because we have football season now. And we always love to talk about it.
Football, beer. I'm good to go.
Thank you for having a great segue. The 6 beers segment has gone away, rest in peace, but it will come back later once the summer season starts up again and there's no more football to talk about, really, because now we have Pub Talk All-Stars. And today, this new segment, we are going to take 2 heavyweight beers head-to-head, but we're just going to drink them during the show. We're not going to really talk about them because they were the best beers that we tasted for the past 3 months on this show. And today, first, we have Susquehanna Orange Ale. We tasted it 2 weeks ago, I want to say.
Episode 12.
So we tasted that one. And then from the very first show, we have Zombie Honey Ale coming back. That was with Clarence that we tasted.
Yeah.
And that was a fantastic beer, and it looks like Pat and Coach are drinking that.
Yes,
while Biff and I are rocking the Susquehanna Orange right now. You weren't with us then, Biff. How is the how you liking it so far?
I was with you.
Were you with us?
Yeah.
You taste tested
You really need to get a
I was
life.
with the
Alright,
orange.
cool.
I wasn't
I'm the
on
one
zombie.
I didn't taste zombie honey. I wasn't on here to taste it. And
Okay, well, you really need to get a life and stop coming over here because you keep tasting all the beers.
Sorry, I like my friend.
So Susquehanna Brewing Company's out of Northeast PA, and we selected Orange's The New Ale as one of the winners from one of the weeks that we had back in episode 12. We liked it. We bring it back as an all-star. And then, of course, one of the show's all-time favorites, Fordham and Dominion Brewing Company in Delaware, hit a grand slam with Zombie Honey Ale, a dark beer with just a great flavor, a dash of honey there.
It just looks like honey.
And it's awesome. It's a seasonal ale, and they hit a home run with it. Quite possibly the best one we've had. Craft
Absolutely.
beers. Fordham and Dominion Brewing, Delaware. Very good.
And then, as we said, the Susquehanna Orange, it was the first beer that we tasted 2 weeks ago, and it was a very sweet, delicious ale that we tasted, and I absolutely loved it. And when I said we were going to do this segment, I want that on the first week because I thought it was one of the best ones that we had tasted all summer. So, but now that is out the way, we'll be drinking it all show, so if we have any other things that we want to talk about it, we'll say it. But right now, it's NFL football.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but Eli Manning just broke a tackle.
Did Eli Manning just break a tackle? We have the game on in the back here, folks. We got Red Zone going. This is the only time of day and week that we can do this podcast, unfortunately. We're very busy people, and we also just have no life because we want to watch football. So we're doing it on a Sunday during the games. We'll hopefully update you the following week about the games that are going on right now and also just about the Sunday night and Monday night games. But NFL Week 1, the most interesting games are always at 1 o'clock, and Sunday's games haven't disappointed so far. Well, I mean, it depends on what kind of fan you are. If you're a Dolphins fan, you might want to go ahead and dig your own grave right now because
That was one of my notes, is to look at this score and say to myself, are the Ravens that good with Lamar, or is it that Miami is that bad? How bad is Miami?
I think it
I don't
leans
know.
more towards Miami being just bad. I mean, they didn't really do much during the offseason in terms of, like, recruiting new talent. They just got rid of their best left tackle, and they got rid of their only real receiving threat in Kenny Stills. So that doesn't really help much. You didn't really have excitement going in. You got
I don't
a new
know how
head
you
coach.
take
It's
that
just
job.
A big
Yeah, he
mess.
was
Yeah, I
tired
don't
of hearing fucking Jay-Z all week down there.
I
He was tired of hearing that stuff.
I don't know how you take that job and expect to be successful.
Comes
And I
from the
don't-
Belichick tree, too.
I get that, but why would you take that job knowing what management is doing to your team?
Ay, ay,
Uh, it just makes for a shortened career as a coach. I just.
I mean, the only thing that
I
I
don't know
can
that I'll
think
be.
of-
I don't know that I would be happy with that at all.
I mean, the only thing that I can think of is that you understand that they're in a rebuild. The front office has to openly tell him we're in a rebuild. Things are going to be kind of rough. Now, the head coach obviously can't explain that to the public or explain that to his team because that's not very good when it comes to morale.
Yeah.
But if you can get through this year with mild success, and today was not a good start, then you can build your own team because you got so many draft picks. You have stupid cap space.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
can
it's going
build
to
your
take
own
time.
team,
It's
but it
just going to
takes
take
time,
time.
exactly.
And how many guys are into that grind? I mean, how many Hugh Jacksons are there going have to endure that? I don't know. I would not be happy in that situation if I was him.
And also, I think it also has to be said that even though Miami did look bad, Lamar Jackson had himself a day. He
he
threw
looked
more
good.
touchdowns than he did incompletions.
Oh, yeah.
He threw 5 touchdowns, 3 incompletions. Okay, I think that speaks a lot about what Baltimore's offense was doing.
Yeah.
But once again, like every time that it came on red zone, you were like, we know what's going to happen, especially in the first quarter where Marquise Brown, who's a rookie, he caught 3.
Hollywood.
Didn't he only catch 3 balls? I want to say he only caught
and 2
3
of them
balls.
went for touchdowns.
Yeah, and 2 of them
4
went for
receptions,
touchdowns.
147 yards, 2 touchdowns.
That is absolutely dreadful.
Look at Manning taking that shot.
Bang.
Poor Eli.
And as
He
and
always
as
looks
this
like
is
he's
going
smelling
on,
poop when he gets that look on
the
his
Giants
face.
are absolutely getting ravaged right now by the Cowboys. It's not even close. Another game that we have to talk about is Philly. Philly
Yeah.
versus
Yes, sir.
Washington. The Birds did pull it out after a very
they
bad start, a very, very poor
Oh,
start.
they looked bad.
It was 20-7 at the end of the half, and Case Keenum looked like Peyton Manning if he was a Hall of Famer yet.
Oh, it was bad. Poor decision making, stupid penalties. It just all around bad first half. The second half, man, they looked lights out. Offensive line was steady.
Well,
Carson
we
Wentz
saw that-
looked good all game.
Yeah, we were watching the game, and then we noticed that the time of possession at one point,
Was
at
it-
25 minutes into the game, or was it 28 minutes into the game? It was at near the 2-minute warning. The Eagles had the ball for 23 minutes.
Out of a 30-minute
Out of the
half.
30-minute half, they had it for 23 minutes, and that said enough
in-
right there.
In perfect Redskin fashion, if you are a Redskin fan, you
blow
fucking blew it. It was so in Washington's hands because Case Keenum, the offense looked on all cylinders. Every single receiver was getting the ball too. It wasn't just one person. Case Keenum was spreading the ball around, but you started to see the wheels turn off.
Even the old man Vernon Davis coming out hurdling people.
Dude, he lost his breath on the way to the end zone. He had to be carried off the field. And what I wanted to say
maybe
was,
because he wanted to
we
be
got a big pick
manhandled?
by Indianapolis. They can't score worth a lick, though. Rest in peace, Andrew Luck. And
Too soon.
It's not too soon.
We just got unfollowed.
Yeah.
We just got unfollowed. I don't give a shit.
I don't like
fans just
anybody
logged
behind
out.
me anyway, so
All the
don't
Colts
follow
fans.
me.
How many Colts fans do we have here?
What a
If you-
catch!
Did you see that one-handed catch?
What? Watch this catch. Hold
Watch
on.
this.
Well,
Listen to
balls in
this.
the air. Balls in the air. One hand extended.
Give me that.
No movement. Just give me that. That's mine now. Thank you.
Sorry, Phil.
Goodbye, Phil. Have a good evening.
Yeah.
Have
What
fun
if-
with your
what- what if
nine
Phil did?
kids.
I was going to say, Phil's going to go have sex tonight and have another kid anyway. So.
So I want to
Kid
go back
number
to the
10.
Ravens game real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Would you still consider the Ravens a running team?
Okay, like the AFC North right now, it seems to be a tough division now, especially because the Steelers, they're going to compete every single year, but the Ravens, they looked great in the preseason. Of course they did, but yeah, you can't deny it's like, look, the Dolphins may be a bad team, but the Ravens could have been a bad team too and not done anything against that team. And instead they put a 59 against them. So yeah, I could see the Ravens putting it in, but I could also see this being an overconfidence to them and saying like, guys, we don't have to really worry about this season because who they got next week? The Arizona Cardinals.
And they look
That's
going
gonna
to
be a tough one, right?
They
As
look
much as
really
I hate
bad
to
right
say
now.
it, Mark Ingram, former Saint,
Rest in peace.
14 carries for 107 yards, 2 touchdowns.
You don't have to talk about it if you don't want to, buddy. If you're not ready,
It hurts.
it hurts a little bit.
I was
almost
hoping he
hurts.
would
It's
suck.
okay.
It almost hurts. It almost hurts as bad benching Sammy Watkins on the bench.
I don't
boom,
want to talk
roasted.
about it. It's too soon. It's too soon. Freaking,
But-
I lost 37.5 points, 39 points. somewhere
Alvin
in there.
Kamara is in a deep depression.
I don't do
because Mark
fantasy. I don't
Ingram's
have
gone.
any friends. So. But back to the Birds and the Redskins. The R words. Can't say that anymore now,
Deadskins.
apparently. The Birds looked fantastic in the second half, but I was so pissed off not seeing Jordan Howard get the ball more. He looked so good in the carries that he did have. And Miles Sanders, don't get me wrong, he is a rookie. He does come from running back U at Penn State because we know they
Running back.
What? They breed running backs.
They do not. They've had one. They had freaking Saquon Barkley. All the other guys were
Are you
failures.
mad?
No, but don't say
Sounds
that
like
they're
he's mad.
running back you.
Sure, Alabama's a running back.
Okay.
They freaking.
I'm glad I got everyone
I'm
all
pretty
fired
sure
up
they
here right
injured
now.
Well, you're not even
running
close.
backs at
Trigger
Alabama.
warning.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jesus Christ, New York. Are you going to let this go again? It's 28-10, and it looks like New York is just falling off. Not even.
Is Eli
Man.
Apple?
Yeah,
still out there?
Jordan Howard had 6 carries,
I think he's with the
44
Saints,
yards,
isn't he? I was going to say.
7.3 yards a carry.
So where you want to move now?
I would like to go to the Chiefs,
Chiefs?
versus Jaguars. I would because, look, Nick
Nick
Foles
Foles.
gets
Rest
brought
in,
in.
rest in peace, Big Dick Nick.
The BDE
For
did
now.
not work out for that
now.
much long. Yeah, the BDE is
now.
still in the building because what happened? He
Well-
caught the touchdown pass when he threw
Well, a
it.
broken clavicle, it's not a season-ending injury.
Well,
And it's in
not
his left
throwing
shoulder,
arm either.
yeah.
and it's not his throwing shoulder.
He's
so there's
undergoing
less
surgery.
rehab.
What, tomorrow?
Tomorrow
Surgery
morning,
tomorrow
yes.
morning?
So you're looking, 6 to 8 weeks maybe?
I guess.
You know, for
yeah,
full
they said
recovery?
I just listened to the report. They said he's
mean-
on injured reserve indefinitely for now.
What was it?
Oh,
Pro
yeah.
Football Talk. You sent me that picture about who's going to go to the Super Bowl, and I said, oh wow, the Jaguars apparently are going to be the 3rd seed and beat the Chiefs in the playoffs, and I was like, what the fuck did I just type up here? Yeah, I was like, how is that going to work? But yeah, Nick Foles. It's such a sad thing to see because he got all that guaranteed money. He got a big contract. He deserves it. And the one pass that he looks so perfect on, he gets hurt. But the storyline of the day is Pat Mahomes. Is he still as good as ever? And my God, the man is still perfect. And also, Miles Jack should be a boxer now because he got ejected so fast.
Did you see him
when he-
getting thrown out like he was getting thrown out of a strip club? He got dragged off the field.
No,
He
I didn't
should've.
see that part.
Two
but I-
guys got two. It took 2 big ass dudes to drag him off the field. They literally
He
drugged
just
him.
got paid a couple days ago too. Like he just got big contract money a couple days ago.
Wow.
So he's using it right. You can't touch me, just like Antonio Brown. You can't fucking touch me, right?
And who did the Chiefs add? What is it? 2 weeks ago, or a week
I think
ago?
it was LaShawn McCoy they
Shady.
added last week.
Yep.
Yeah. And-
81 yards.
yeah, because it looked like Damian Williams wasn't doing anything. So
Well, he came from Reed's system. He knows Reed's
Yeah.
system.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
it's not like he's losing a step.
I know.
Right.
And we finally got to see another no-look pass. And what happened? It was incomplete. It wasn't even close to the dude where
Hey,
he
Aaron
threw it.
Rodgers did it last week or on Thursday.
He did?
Aaron Rodgers
Okay.
threw what was it a 50
From the camera
yarder.
angle, maybe. From the camera angle.
Hey,
but,
Brett
I mean,
Favre can do it. Did you see the episode with Patrick Mahomes and Brett Favre having a no-look competition?
No.
I did. It was hilarious.
I also saw the episode where Brett Favre was with the Chicago Bears super
Yep,
fans.
yep.
He threw the freaking Alexa, and he was like intercepted by the bird in the air. That was great. Speaking of the Bears, the Bears versus Packers to open up the first game of the season. You have two of the most historic franchises in NFL history.
The
two of the
hugest rivalry.
Yeah, the hugest rivalry in the NFL, no question. And what happens? You lay a fucking egg on Thursday Night Football. Both teams. It wasn't a good game.
I think especially the Bears having flopped. That was really hard for me. And the reason why I think, and I could be wrong with it. You know, people have their opinions on this stuff. The biggest thing for me is when you're trying to get a second-year player to respond to all the off-season work that he's supposed to have put in.
Yep.
You have to get a guy like Trubisky reps. You know how many snaps he took in the preseason? He took 3. and then for you to step out on opening night and to lay an egg like that is just astounding to me that you would allow that to happen. To take literally no reps in the preseason.
Yeah.
And then to go in front of your press club or the press and say, well, that didn't have anything to do with it. Well, let me tell you something, shitbreak. It did. It did. If you don't practice your craft, how do you get good at it? How do you not prepare for game time by getting game time reps? You're already questionable at best. You're already questionable in what your skill level is.
Didn't Tom Brady play in 3 preseason games?
I mean, I watched him in like the 3rd preseason game. He played an entire half. Now he's like he's
42.
He's like 68 years old. Probably strolled out on a walker, and then they freaking photoshopped the walker away. They used
Super Bowl, Sonny.
They CGI'd the freaking walker away from him as he played the entire first half.
Well,
but you know what I mean?
No problem this year.
I don't get it. That just annoys the shit out of me. As much as I love the Bears, Matt Nagy and freaking Mitchell Trubisky laid a freaking egg on the 100th anniversary of the season opening. And I was so freaking mad. Just frustrating, I guess. I don't know. There's nothing else to say other than it was a shitty game, played by two decent defenses.
Well, just because you're mad, I want to still talk about it a little bit by saying, like, look, I was excited for the matchup because, yeah, you have two of the best franchises to ever play the game in the first game. But after seeing the game, I'm like, we should have seen the defending champs actually out there. I would love to see the Patriots actually out there playing on Thursday night. They're the reason that they're the biggest team last year. And it's their title. They're going to show their banner tonight against Pittsburgh, RIP. And it should have been them now after this game because 10-3, I mean, everyone's talking about the Packers' defense. They did a great job.
You're talking about the two oldest franchises to open up the 100th anniversary, and I think that was appropriate.
And I love them also having all those old films of like 100 seconds of 100 years, and then also bringing the 85 Bears out onto the field, the most badass team to ever play the game.
Otis Wilson, you saw Richard Dent.
You saw Jim McMahon having his sunglasses on at 7 o'clock at night.
I saw some pictures, and they also had Jay Cutler was there.
No wonder they fucking lost. No wonder they lost.
He wasn't in a uniform.
So many people freaking booing him. It wasn't even funny.
And he just laughed all the way at the back.
Bears records, though,
was he smoking a cigarette, though? That is the question.
Thanks for your money. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
But Thursday
night, and he's got great hair, so he's got that going for him.
I will say this. It looks like the kicking has been fixed, though, for Chicago because the one time he went out into the field, they made it, and the crowd went wild.
Yeah, and then on the ensuing kickoff, he kicked
it
out
of bounds. We don't need to talk about that.
We were supposed to skip that part.
Is that in the fucking script? Why would you bring that up, man?
Yeah, it was
we just lost the Bears listeners now.
I might be
to the Browns.
I'm on the wrong page. I'm on the wrong shit.
Okay, I'll move to the Browns. Good fucking riddance, my man. Good riddance. Like,
Baker Mayfield.
I know it's only the first game of the season, but you brought in all these big pickups. You have a dude getting a tattoo of Super Bowl champs on your arm, and you lose to the Tennessee Titans.
And the
you know what?
The Titans looked pretty damn good.
They did.
They scored 43 points, man. But I also don't want to just say that. I want to talk about how undisciplined this Browns team was.
The fact that the Browns got booed off the field during halftime, walking out on halftime.
That's not even the scariest thing. They had a full sold-out stadium. That's the scariest thing. I don't think I've ever seen that ever since I've been alive.
That would have been the day to rob a bank there in Cleveland because everybody was at the game.
It's like, shoot, you held me up. Okay, everyone's at the game. Go right ahead.
And
there's a couple $1 million in the safe. Go right ahead.
The fact that Odell Beckham wore a $150,000 watch on the field during the game.
What?
Look it up. Odell Beckham wore a $150,000 watch while playing during the game.
Yeah, well, that didn't help him.
Yeah,
but I wanted
to say... They didn't cash
it
in for points, obviously. I could have gone to a pawn shop. How many points can I get for this fucking watch? Because we're getting our ass kicked.
I'll give you $1. Oh, you got to be quicker than that. But I wanted to say undisciplined because, one, they had 17 penalties. Okay, 17 penalties for almost 200 yards of penalty yardage. And then one of their guys got ejected for kicking a player in the face. Last time I checked, you can't do that.
They are on the same team.
Yeah, I was going to say
he's on the same team.
Was Kareem Hunt there?
His presence is felt.
He's
on
on
now
defense
that the season has started, apparently, like, the rule is if you're suspended, you can't be anywhere near the facility.
They
or
just
the
changed
team.
his name and gave him a different jersey number.
So his name is Hunt Kareem now.
Yep.
What was it?
Leon
what was it last-
Sandcastle.
What was it? Dick Knowles has come into the game for Los Angeles or something like that last year.
Oh my god! Oh.
But then Baker Mayfield, he was sacked 5 times
3
and
interceptions
3 interceptions. He threw for 285 yards.
one of
but
10 on third down.
against Tennessee, though.
Against
Who the hell
Tennessee.
do they have on defense?
They got Logan Ryan.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's about it.
Butler.
They got Jarrell Casey. They got
yeah, that's right. They do have
Malcolm
Malcolm
They
Butler.
got Byron,
Was he
their
even there?
safety. They got Byron,
don't
the
think I even
safety,
heard his
who
name
was
once.
Oh.
who
He's
led the
doing
league
his
in
job then.
interceptions.
You didn't throw at him.
Exactly, that's true.
Yeah, but they went out and got all these huge players, and they go out week 1 in front of a sold-out crowd. You want to impress everybody. You're wearing now those dark uniforms as your home uniforms
That looked like a giant Lincoln log.
with some corn in it because that matches the orange. And you lay an egg.
Like Susquehanna orange from.
Like Susquehanna Orange from Susquehanna
Except
Brewing.
Not
Orange.
Susquehanna
Sponsored.
Orange is a
Not
lot better than
sponsored.
the Browns.
Orange is the new ale. And by the way, the Susquehanna Orange Ale is better than the Cleveland Browns ale.
Absolutely. It's not even close.
Sit down there, Baker Mayfield. Cool off with a nice Susquehanna Orange. Once again, not sponsored.
Yeah, I think when I look at what happened with Cleveland today, you got all that talent, and preseason's one thing, but at some point you've got to find a way to get your team to gel. You know what I mean? You have to get them playing together for one another, and when you can't have that or you can't get that, your team will struggle. And I don't see this changing for the Browns until they figure out a way to play with each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I also
create a
see
gel.
like how Cleveland didn't expect like Tennessee. Like they have some great offensive firepower.
Right.
Like they just didn't like teams didn't expect like Tennessee can go in here and get this done. They can. It's up to their defense, and their defense only allowed 13 points today.
But
Derrick
here's
Henry.
the thing. Okay, so last year they had the
Yeah,
same
big
thing.
Derrick
They would,
Henry.
Well,
Oh
sometimes
my
they would
God.
come out last year and look
He's
really good, and
studded
then
it.
other weeks they come out and
Oh,
you're
yeah.
like, you're
Against-
like a sub 500 team at best.
Against good
So
teams, they
how
looked
consistent?
unstoppable.
How consistent can you be? And if the Titans can be consistent, they can make a shot at the
Yeah, well,
AFC
it remains
South.
to me. It remains to be seen if Mariota can remain healthy for an entire season
That is
because
true.
he's like
Well,
glass.
now you got
know what I
Tannehill
mean?
to back him up.
Woo! So you got that going for
He's
you. The
just
people
as-
in Miami are
I'd
rooting
rather
like
have
crazy.
Brandon
So you got
Brandon
Glass
Whedon.
Senior and Glass Junior.
Brandon Whedon.
All right, so we got a couple more games that I want to talk
I
about.
got one.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I
Go ahead.
want to go Bills and freaking.
Go right ahead.
That's
I'm
my
so
upset.
happy
That's
right
my
now.
upset of the week so far.
Yeah,
you know,
it
Bills
is.
and Jets. And the Jets come out to a 16.0 lead. You know, they got a 16-point lead in at the half. And Josh Allen helps reel these guys in, and they score 17 unanswered and win it.
If this isn't like just simple, just ignorance and just undisciplined, 4 takeaways. They have 4 takeaways in the first quarter. The Jets do, and they come away with 6 points.
Hey, you
out of
had
4
that pick
takeaways.
6 by C.J. Mosley. Jets fans were already rooting for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and then they missed the extra point, and then it went on
Well,
downhill.
here's the thing. So if you're -2 in turnovers, what's it? You lose 92% of the time.
Yeah, it's
and you double that.
the
You go
percentage-
-4 in turnovers, and
Yeah.
you come out with a win.
Yeah, the statistics, and, you know, statistics do a bunch of things. There are lies, there are damn lies, and there's statistics. So while -4 is not good, you know, it's not the end of the world.
I think a lot of credit here, though, has to go to the Bills' defense of holding this.
But they've always been good.
Okay,
That
but I'm
Bills
saying
defense has been so good, but they get thrown under the bus because their offense has a lack of production.
what I wanted to say, though, is that this Jets offense. You had Sam Darnold, who is supposed to be the next coming of Jesus, apparently, in the AFC. And you also have Le'Veon Bell now. You have who apparently, according to him, is the best running back in the NFL. And then you also have firepower now at the wide receiver position to also help you out. And what did they do? They have 200 yards of offense throughout the entirety of the game. 200 yards of offense. That Bills defense did a fantastic
Adam
job.
Gase, has a track record of all this great
Losing.
things. Yeah, of nothing but fucking losing.
Loser.
You're this offensive mastermind, and
You know the
have
conch shell from
you have
SpongeBob?
you have a young quarterback
Loser.
who's talented. You got Le'Veon Bell, who you paid all this money for, and yeah, he's pretty damn good. Nobody's gonna take that away.
Adam Gase, go
But
back
so-
to sniffing smelling salts.
So
Coop.
So you're supposed to have this grand.
He's doing a good
offense
job.
and you got the quarterback you want, and you only put up 17 points. And
Yeah,
they gave you the ball 4 free times. They gave you the ball,
Yeah,
and you come away with
exactly.
17 or 16 points. My fault. You come away with
Yeah, they missed
16
their
points,
field goal.
and you fucking lose. That's stupid. That's unexcusable.
Yeah.
Oh no, my fault. So you threw a pick. So your offense scored 10 points. That's what your offense put up because 6 of those points are from a pick six. So you scored 10 points
So
or 9 points because I don't remember when it happened. Did
So-
they miss the field goal on the
They missed the field
on
goal
the
on the
pick six?
six.
Okay, so they scored 10 points.
So before we
10
go into
points.
a next game real quick, so I want to talk to you guys about a new topic that we will have for the NFL coming up next week because we didn't talk about it last week. And it's called Told You So versus Damn It, It Ain't So. Because we want to have a little talk about, like, I told you that this would freaking happen. I told you it would. Or like, oh, say it ain't so. Please tell me that this team did just not lay an egg. Please
God
tell me that
damn
this
it, this actually
team
happened.
Please tell me this can't be real. But basically, that's the gist of it. We want to have some fun, so I put a little cuss word into the topic there. So we'll talk about that next week. But back to the games here real quick. I want to talk about one or two more, and then we'll look ahead to week 2. But I think, like, the Falcons, to me, Falcons versus Vikings is another one to me because I look at what Julio Jones just became the highest paid NFL wide receiver now in the league yesterday. He got a big contract recipe, Antonio Brown. He got a big contract, and what happens? They go out here and score 12 points against Minnesota Vikings with, Pro Bowl quarterback Kirk Cousins at the helm, average at best, and they lay an egg, basically.
I'd like to bring another stat in.
Yeah, go ahead.
RG3 had 5 high fives during the Ravens game.
Nice.
He couldn't
That's-
get 6. Absolute
He
garbage.
couldn't get the sixth one.
Absolute garbage.
He got
man.
denied the sixth one.
McSorley would have gotten 6.
Exactly, man. But
No, but the Falcons have, again, -3 in turnovers, 2 picks and a fumble. Minnesota didn't turn over the ball.
Kirk Cousins only threw the ball 10 times. He only threw the ball 10 times.
What happens when you can
Yeah,
run?
and
What?
he was 8 of 10 for 98 and a touchdown. They're really
He even break 100.
Well, when you have Dalvin Cook with
Yeah.
21 carries, 111 yards, and 2 TDs,
Yeah, I wouldn't throw it either.
yeah, you don't need to throw it.
yeah, passing only 97 yards.
That's why they
passing.
won. Kirk Cousins didn't get the chance to throw any interceptions.
Very true.
But
very true.
it's still very sloppy.
they weren't on
football
prime
this
time.
week though.
No prime
like
time.
that's got to be the motto of this week. It's just such sloppiness and undiscipline for a lot of these teams. Even for the Vikings, who look like they destroyed the Falcons, had 11 penalties for 100
But
yards.
I think
man.
again that comes back to what Coach was saying about the Bears is that there's no, if you don't play anybody in the preseason or very limited to any of that, then yeah, things are going to be sloppy. I mean,
And it was and that you're right on the money. You're
there's a difference
absolutely
between
right.
practice speed and believe me, there's a difference between game speed and practice speed, especially mentally. There's a big difference because in practice it can be like, oh, if I screw up, okay,
I'm not
we'll
gonna
do it
lose my
again.
fucking job.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lose my job. In a ball game, that can cost you a game. That can cost you a drive if you screw up. So there's a big difference between game speed and practice speed, and for a lot of these guys, all they've gotten is practice speed.
You're right.
And that's not good.
So that is week 1. We have the 4:00 games, and then, of course, we have the primetime game on tonight. Pittsburgh versus New England, up in New England. But the games that are going on right now are not that exciting other than the Colts versus Chargers. I mean, maybe Cincy versus
I was going to
Cincinnati.
say, Cincy's looking pretty
Cincy's
decent.
actually, with
And
the
who-
new head coach, new system,
Where
They're
the hell
hate-
did John Ross come from? He was hurt all last season. He's actually showing up.
I think
Hand me the opener.
though, for this second half of games, especially for the Cowboys, they're looking pretty dang good. Is that the Cowboys looking good, or is that the Giants just laying an egg?
The Giants
again?
being the Giants.
I don't know. I think they spent some money on that offensive line of theirs.
I seen where they said they had a post on Facebook It was a picture of Eli Manning saying, "Eli, it looks like you're the only one to stop Tom Brady this year." After they signed Antonio Brown,
Oh my God.
and they said, "Sorry, Daniel Jones."
People keep saying that about like it was Eli Manning who did it. I don't know. I feel like the defensive line of New York, those 2 Super Bowls really got the job done for them. But anywho, let's talk about week 2.
Upsets of week 2.
Yeah.
Week 2, I want to say that like the first week is always good, but next week you have a lot of good games. You have Patriots versus Dolphins, Steelers versus Seahawks, Bears versus Broncos, Eagles, Falcons, 49ers,
Josh Rosen's
Bengals.
going to win.
Who they play?
I had Chiefs and Raiders. You know,
asshole. That's so mean against the Patriots.
Chiefs and Raiders. There's a big rivalry between those 2 teams. And I don't know. It'll be remains.
Man, already
I guess
in
the
week 2.
Raiders have to unveil themselves tomorrow on Monday night. But I will not be awake to watch that game. The freaking game kicks
Starts
off
at like
at
10:30.
10:20 is the freaking start of that game. That's a West Coast game, I understand, but my dead ass is not going to be freaking watching that.
I'm going to start off.
I'll
Rams
watch
versus
ESPN.
Saints is
I don't want to talk about that one. That's going to be scary.
that's going to be
Scary.
one where
I should
Yeah.
be jacked up for that.
Yeah, that's going to be a high-scoring game.
I hope it is.
I've got my upsets. Denver over Chicago.
Yeah,
got
you know
Denver
what? I put that on my list right there. It's down at number 5.
because of their defense.
Yep.
Yeah,
Because of that defense.
yeah, and Trubisky's struggling.
Yep.
He's
Yep.
struggling, and it's not going to
Unless
change.
Trubisky has a huge workout this week.
Or you know
a
what?
lot of
It
practice.
also comes down to Nagy, steering the offense and taking more of a risk. I mean, in the first half during that game, I don't know that he threw the ball deeper than 12 yards down the field. So, it's really
Cardinals
hard to say
fucking
what the heck.
suck.
Yeah, the Cardinals are fucking terrible.
I also had
absolutely awful.
Giants over Bills.
wait,
Really?
After
That's the
what-
last one.
really?
That's pick 6 on mine right there. The
Um,
bottom one.
And
the
then
one that I'm really looking at is Raiders over Chiefs.
Raiders
got home
over
field.
That's my number 4
Raiders
pick right
over
there.
Chiefs.
That's my
Okay,
number 4
Yeah,
pick.
because today showed even with a backup quarterback and with a hurt Nick Foles, a team that lacked offensive strength last year and even still showed spurts of it today, still put up 20-something points. They put up 28 points.
yeah.
I'm actually going to say it. I think the Redskins can take down Dallas.
See,
next
I
week.
had that, but I'm watching this game.
I'm thinking no.
I still think that with the way that Washington played today, if they just fix some things and go back to the drawing board and say, like, look, if we run a little bit more, we can take down Dallas.
I
Yeah,
got
you're gonna have-
Bench.
you're
Why
gonna-
was Peterson benched today?
that was a
It
coach's
doesn't say-
decision.
It was a coach's
apparently.
decision, and I read the article, and it said that what's his name, Geis, and the other guy, the other running back,
Chris
Thompson?
Thompson.
Yeah, I couldn't think of his name; it just completely escaped
Thompson!
me. Was that they were a better fit for Gruden's system in Washington? They're a little more lateral, a little more effective in the pass
And he
side
Sideline,
just tied
sideline.
it up.
versus AP's north and south. Well, how could you dislike being running north and south?
How,
apparently-
how could you bench
but apparently-
someone?
What
Isn't
is
that
the
what
sh-
Geis
What is
is?
the shape of a football field?
And he's
It's side to side, man.
but apparently
It's like
he
a
was
tennis
he was
court.
a healthy scratch for the day's game because of that. They weren't going to carry 3 backs into the game.
And if you
So I did
stare-
another upset though. I got Lions over Chargers.
Lions over Chargers. That's not on my
Lions-
list.
Lions over Chargers.
Well, they're making mincemeat.
Matt
of it.
Patricia is going to
while
take
we're
off
wa-
the walking
well,
boot and
while
go
we're
out there and
watching
play
this
himself.
right now, an indie team that has had to come,
It's tied.
but they've had to
They just tied it up. I
overcome
just said it.
with the retirement of their franchise quarterback. So not only has your starting quarterback for today's game,
So
Jacoby
luck was
Brissett,
bad luck.
But I'm saying that
He's
you
saying
know,
it because he
well, the quarterback Jacoby
bad luck.
Brissett had a week to get reps.
Jacoby Brissett.
Had a week to get reps, and they're
Came out of the
tied
Patriots
with
system.
what some people considered one of the best teams in the AFC, and they're tied right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and
Well,
the
they
Lions
are also without their starting running
now
back.
the only counter to what I'm saying is
I'm
that
glad
the
he-
Lions
I'm
are
glad
playing
they
the Cardinals
freaking
right
didn't
now,
pay him.
but the Lions are doing what they should do to the Cardinals.
Yeah.
They looked a
That
little bit more crisp.
Cardinals defense isn't quite there yet.
I couldn't tell you one person on that defense.
Chandler Jones.
Patrick Peterson.
I really could. He's
And
not
Patrick-
playing right now.
Chandler Jones.
He's suspended. Oh, wow. I forgot about him. Look how far he has fallen from
Isn't
grace.
Boston Whitaker still on the Cardinals?
Couldn't tell you.
They're
Really
trash. It
couldn't
doesn't
tell
matter.
you.
Larry Fitzgerald.
But okay, yep. So
plays
my upset
offense.
is I got the Raiders over the Chiefs, and I got the Lions over the Chargers.
My
Wait.
lead pipe lock is week 2's Miami going to New England. If New England is everybody's
No, New England goes to Miami.
is it? I
So
wrote
that-
it
New
backwards.
England goes to Miami.
Miami doesn't play real
Minus
well.
Yeah.
11.
New England does not play well in Miami. But if you're going to tell me that this Miami team is going to be able to
Nope.
outscore this year's
Josh
Patriots
Rosen gets
team,
the start, and Kenyon
He
Drake
might
actually
become
plays.
Brandon Whedon very
Yep.
soon.
I don't
No, he's
care
gonna
if
become
Drake
Nathan
the
Peterman
musician
real
shows
quick.
up. It shouldn't make a difference.
He might become Brandon Whedon now.
No, he's
Yeah.
gonna become Nathan Peterman
Yeah.
Nathan
Nathan
Peterman doesn't
Peterman
even hold
looks
Brandon
good,
Whedon's
though.
jockstrap.
because he was actually coached.
Don't you
Yeah.
ever say
He's
that.
actually
And then I was
coached.
going to go with what you said earlier, CJ. I think that my possible upset is Vikings and Packs. Vikings over the Packers is as good as Aaron Rodgers is. And their defense looked pretty solid against the Bears.
yeah, it did.
You know,
But
I
there
don't
wasn't
know-
much to show
Yeah,
from
there wasn't a
Chicago.
lot. There wasn't a lot on either side, and so I don't know. The Vikings, yeah, maybe they get on a little bit of a roll here and turn the NFC upside down. The black and blue division gets turned upside down, and they stand on top. I don't know.
All right. Well, I got 2 locks. So my lock is Cowboys over Redskins.
Yeah,
Based on what
that
the
was
Redskins.
my number 3. That was my number 3 one.
So the Redskins today showed that they had trouble stopping the run, and Dallas is arguably the best run team in the NFL. So that you got that going against you. So I like the Cowboys over the Redskins. That's a lock. And then my other one is Ravens over the Cardinals.
Oh my God!
The
I can hear
Cardinals
the
have to
whistles.
play lights out.
I can hear the whistles going off right now.
Oh yeah, because they're gonna get it.
And he's
shoved
not
straight
talking
up
about
where the
coaching
sun-
I'm
whistles.
not talking about officials' whistles either.
So
I'm
who do
talking
we
about
have
the rape whistle.
Who do we
They're
have
gonna
in
get
week
mauled.
2 of the Toilet Bowl?
Toilet
The
bowl.
Browns versus Jets.
I got to go with the Browns.
I
still like the
and
Browns.
Jets.
Yeah, week
Brown
2.
Jets?
Brown Jets.
I think the Browns wake up from this. It'll be close, but I think the Browns wake up from this just because they have more firepower than the Jets.
They tried replicating what the Rams did on defense last year, but on offense. And I don't see it helping, so I'm calling Jets.
You got Jets. I got Browns.
Jets and Browns. You heard it here, folks.
Everybody fell asleep.
Yeah. Blum, 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 blum.
We're
No
going
one
now.
cares.
College football?
You want to do some college?
I want to do college, but I want to say next week fucking sucks for NFL, it looks like.
There's some great rivalry games.
I
Cowboys,
really think
Skins,
that
Battle of
does.
the Birds,
Raiders.
baby.
I wanted to have some upsets,
Ain't
but then
gonna
I
be no
look at
battle.
these games and I'm like, what the
Hey,
There ain't
Saints
no
Rams.
upsets in here.
Saints Rams.
That's going to
Yeah.
be literally
That's
the
gonna
only
be
game.
that's gonna be a great game.
Is that even going to be in our area?
I think
I hope
Chiefs
there's not a
Raiders-
You don't
nuclear.
have Sunday ticket,
I hope
do
a
you?
nuclear event does not happen,
So
and all of the
unfortunate.
replay cameras are unavailable for that game.
But there's a couple good ones. Cowboys Redskins I think is gonna be good. Chiefs Raiders I think is gonna be good. Saints Rams is gonna be the best one of the
I
week.
think
I think
Eagles
just
Falcons even. I think
I
they're
think
gonna,
Joe
Rivalries,
Namath comes in.
couple of dodo birds.
I think
playing.
they're going to bring boxing gloves to the Saints
Bird
Rams
Bowl?
game next
the
week.
Bird Bowl, Battle of the Birds.
Falcons.
You really
Eagles.
think
I
so?
think there's going to be some fights.
Where-
And then
think
there's
it's gonna be
Vikings
Bradley
Packers.
Roby
Vikings
versus,
Packers is a great rivalry. That's a good one.
Who
Yeah.
was the guy that he hit?
Yeah, there's
Oh,
a
yeah.
couple good ones in there.
Cowboys
Colts-
Skins?
Hey,
Yeah,
Colts
I
Titans.
forget
Colts
it.
Titans is
It's
a
like
good
ding
matchup
ding.
now. If the Titans play like they did today, and the Colts are a good football team, I mean, here comes Kyler Murray.
Can Kyler Murray get a good?
Oh.
Is there a flag on the play though?
Well, that's what happens when you throw
That's-
to Larry Legend. He's
God damn, is he good?
God.
That dude is.
Larry is a stud.
He
Right.
might be arguably.
that man has a custom jock strap for the balls he's got.
He's the second best receiver of all time.
So moving on to college football now.
And on top of that, just a side
Man, I'll
note.
go
on-
fuck myself. What's up?
Yeah. Shut up.
No, Larry's just a freaking
Shut up,
quality
bitch.
dude too. You
Oh,
know what I mean?
absolutely.
Just quality guy.
Can you name one quarterback that is? So you got Kurt Warner. Is he in the Hall of Fame now?
Yeah. Yes. Yes, he
Kurt
is.
Warner's in the Hall
What
of
a
Fame.
run!
Yes, he is.
And he played with him for 3 years. So then you had a
Carson
rejuvenated Carson Palmer. Who else?
Sam Bradford. at the time he was there.
Josh
damn it,
Rosen.
what the hell,
Josh
Matt
Rosen's a
Leinart.
Hall of Famer. Yeah,
Matt
God.
Leinart.
You had Matt Leinart.
He works at the Hall of Fame. He stands next to the bathroom and offers a towel.
Would
Or
you
a
like,
mint.
would you like a mint?
And not the one that goes in the bottom of the urinal either.
So you
I've never had my
You
butt
can't
full
eat the
finger.
big mint.
I'm sorry that we're talking. I mean, we're talking a lot about Larry Fitzgerald right now, but
Yeah.
you got to think. So he hasn't had like any consistent
This guy-
quarterback.
this guy
and he's
right here.
second all time in receiving
That guy.
yards.
That
That
guy.
guy right there.
Football
You
guy.
can't see him, but goddamn it, that guy's really
Yeah,
good.
that guy right there.
Right there.
No, what's the running back for Cardinals?
David Johnson.
David Johnson. That's it. I thought
That
why
wasn't
did
even
I-
Oh,
fair
what a
to him.
catch.
I know
Did he
it's not.
catch that?
No.
No, it just
he
got
did
tipped. Okay.
No, but David Johnson, he's
Stud.
a stud. But where the
No.
hell's he been all game?
No offensive line.
Yeah, that's the
All
way.
right,
Their
let's move
offensive
on.
line's atrocious.
All right,
Go
we're-
ahead.
Let's
yes.
not beat a dead horse because they are quite possibly one of the worst teams.
You
in the
can't say
NFL
that
right
now. The vegans just turned off the podcast now, Dad. because
Fuck
you said
them
that.
anyway.
Fuck
Eat
them
some
anyway.
meat.
Go eat some meat.
Moving on to college football, it's week 2, better
Top
than
games.
week 1. What?
What?
Are you
Top-
reading from the script?
I'm just saying. What's your top game?
Top game?
You're still
I
running
mean-
your lips. Nobody cares.
Shut up, Biff.
Stay on script. Shut up.
Sorry, top game. First one of the day was Army versus Michigan.
What a great
Absolutely.
game.
I watched that
Absolutely.
game all the way to the end, and damn it, the troops lost.
Yeah.
The troops could
How
not pull
did
it out.
Michigan? What was it? Double overtime?
Yeah.
Double OT.
And they just won like they won
And
the
I think it was a lot of wearing them down is all, you know?
Yeah, and it was some mistakes. I mean, Army threw an interception at like the 5-yard line, and then the fumble lost them the game.
All right, so was it a factor of this? Is Michigan not as good, or what I wrote in my notes? Are they that overrated, or did Army play their ass off?
I think Army's tough as shit.
I think Army is
think
better
that-
than
Army
we give.
is an underestimated team.
I think they had won
Yes.
11 in a row. They're
I think Jim
disciplined.
Harbaugh needs to drink more milk.
he needs
get
some
ready.
milk.
He needs
But
to
it-
drink some more.
I don't know. I don't want to take anything away from Army by saying Michigan should have stomped their guts. I want to give Army the benefit of the doubt and say they played their ass off.
They went 11-2 last year.
I
as
get
well.
that. I
I'm
totally
saying-
get that. I'm just saying.
I'm agreeing with you.
I'm thinking maybe Michigan might be a little bit more overrated than normal, and
Well, they dropped to
Army's
10.
pretty damn good.
Army's pretty damn good, and I
They
think you're a
jumped
little bit right.
into the stands like they had just won the national championship. by
Yeah,
beating
I didn't
Army.
like
It's like
that.
you won
I
a
know,
game
I
that
didn't
you
like that.
should have won in the first
Exactly.
place. And
I
then
didn't
when you
like
go
that.
play Ohio State and get your
Oh,
teeth
man.
kicked in,
Yeah, and
And it's going to be at Michigan this year.
You're going to
Again,
get beat by 3 touchdowns.
I can already hear the whistles,
Yeah.
and it's not going to be good. So the second game that I had on here is top games of the week: Nebraska, Colorado.
Another great game. We saw
Another
that.
good one.
We saw that.
You know, Scott
were-
Frost, you really had a bad showing last week against South Alabama. It really wasn't that good of a showing. And then you go to Colorado, and what were they up? 17 points?
I think you underestimate because Colorado's very underrated. Like they're not a bad football team. Now they're not great, but they're not bad either. You know?
But Martinez made so many mistakes in this game
You
too.
can't win against top tier teams or better teams by making mistakes. You're right,
And when I saw that,
especially
I go,
down the stretch.
in Boulder, Colorado, man, it was like a sea of red, and they friggin' laid an egg against Colorado.
I know. And then when they won, when Colorado won, only one half of the stadium stormed the field. I'm like, come
Yeah.
on! Like usually the entire stands
Yeah.
are gonna storm the field.
It's like
but like
the
when you
Red
have,
Raiders.
but when you only have half the field getting covered because only half of your fans are actually Colorado fans, that's pretty sad.
So my top 2 was, of course, Clemson because they're just fucking
I
interesting.
don't know
to
if that
watch.
was that good of a game.
It wasn't
though.
the fact, but they are so in sync as a team.
Oh, I know.
But it shows that
ATN
Clemson still hasn't lost a step.
Exactly.
They're still
ATN, their
That's
running
why
back?
they're one of my
Oh,
top
man.
games because, I mean, yeah, they played A&M, but they're so in sync as a team. It's just like watching a freaking orchestra play.
Texas
You know-
A&M's offense was absolutely atrocious.
Yeah,
They were awful.
I look at when Clemson hits the field, they're the ultimate in confidence. They expect
Yep.
to win. They have the expectation of winning, and that in and of itself gives them an advantage over everybody they play. And if you've ever heard Dabo Sweeney talk, you know he talks about what his team's expectations are, and it is to respect everyone. You're gonna get an A game from everybody, and it's up to us to dial in and produce our A game for everybody else. And if we do that, everything will fall in place, and the wins will take care of themselves.
And that's been the motto for the past 5 years
Right,
now, where they have
and
been at
and
the
he's
top.
turned them into a juggernaut. They are going to be very, very, very tough to beat. Period. They're going to be very tough to beat.
And also, like I said, Texas A&M, their defense tried to stop them as much as they could, but the offense of Texas A&M,
Sunshine.
Kellen Mond was not that good yesterday against them. And then, like I said, when your offense doesn't put points on the board and you got to put your defense back out there constantly, sunshine.
Well, let
in
me
the
ask you
offense.
this. So I had to work because, I got to make some money because
Money.
I'm broke, right? So I didn't get to watch the game.
Who needs
But
that?
but when I'm looking at the stat line, when I have a couple times looked at my phone during work, did he look rattled?
Who?
Kenny Mounds.
You mean Kellen Mond?
Yes.
That's Kellen Mond. Know your
We'll
know your
delete
players
that.
there
Is
first.
that in French or what?
No, yes, he did. He made a lot
he
of
look-
bad decisions.
Did he look like Death Valley was a little bit too much? For him?
Yes, he really did. Because last year when they played against Clemson at Texas A&M, he looked really good.
He
but
looked
when
They
comfortable.
went down to the wire.
and whenever they went here, they didn't have.
Okay,
when I
Biff.
mean this in the
Okay.
nicest way possible,
I didn't think that was
they
a chucking
didn't
beer.
have a fucking chance. They didn't have a chance. As the Chargers drive it into field goal range in overtime to try and put themselves ahead, but the Colts get the ball back if you're living under a
So
rock.
my other top game.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just saw the
My
only
other
two
top
Chargers
game,
fans.
the game that pissed me off the most, LSU over Texas.
It pissed you
know,
off?
I
did.
hate LSU.
Why is that?
How can you not like
You're
Tigers?
a
Tigers.
sick-
What's up,
Okay.
boys?
Okay, hold on, time out.
The boys are gonna go out there.
I
and
wanna
they're gonna work
explain
real
this.
hard
Hold
with
that
to make it. Go Tiger.
What? Okay, so
Ed
time
O-
out.
Coach
so,
O?
So you're a Saints fan, New Orleans, Louisiana Saints fan, hates LSU.
This ain't adding up, Chief.
I'm a Georgia Bulldogs fan.
That's very true, but you also. Oh, never
I
mind.
mean,
I'm
come
gonna shut
on.
up.
Baseball, I'm a Yankees fan.
Don't point your finger
NFL,
at
I'm
me.
a Saints fan. College football, Georgia.
Right.
You really are like all over the country with this
But
shit.
that's good. That's what a
That's
sports
okay.
fan does.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
okay.
in
I
my
mean, for
mind, that's what a
I was
sports
just,
fan
I was
does.
just trying to
Rockets
make
Don't
sense.
be
of-
an old
you
Washington
don't just
fan.
You know,
dislike
I-
LSU.
I
You
think-
hate LSU.
I think
I despise
LSU in what they did yesterday, they made a statement, and because Texas is a good football team, but they made a statement. LSU looked really, really good.
Yes,
on
like
offense.
Texas
Joe
also made
Burrow.
a lot of mistakes.
But
Yeah,
Joe
early
Burrow
I think so.
looked
Joe
like-
Burrow, that kid's good, and
kid's really good.
Bye.
what's his name? Ellinger.
Sam Ellinger made a lot of mistakes yesterday, but the Texas offense did as well. They had 2 chances at the goal line, back-to-back drives at the 1-yard line, and they could not score.
Yeah, you're
Against that strong defense, you can't. If you're a hater of that, you have to go like, dude, what else can we do?
Yeah, but you got to. But going back to that, look, if you scored 2 times
Yeah,
on the goal
you
line,
put-
you win.
Yeah, you put
only
yourself
lost
ahead.
By, you
That's
lost
what
by
I'm saying,
7.
though. It's a mental game there when you look at the score and you go, guys, we won this freaking game.
Yeah,
and you have to
I know.
look at that.
I understand all that, but if you're going to be a top 10 team, if you're going to be one of these teams that are going to vie for the college football playoff
Yep.
system, you cannot give up 45 points.
It's the
and
Big
have
12.
To score
Come on now.
yeah, but you're not going to win a freaking national championship
it's the
giving
big-
up 45 and having to score 52.
I mean,
or
Oklahoma
48.
tried to do that last year, and look how that far it got them.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
I know it doesn't.
And so that's my whole point is that
Just Bama will shut you down. Clemson will shut your ass down.
LSU
Shoot,
clearly can
Ohio
shut you-
State will even shut your ass
but you
down.
know
Yeah,
even
at times.
LSU gave up 38 points.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
You
both
had to
of these
score
teams, that's what's
45
kinda-
to win is what I'm telling
and
you.
that's way too many points. To,
And while they made a
yeah.
statement and they looked pretty good and they jumped the rankings inside the top 10, it remains to be seen if they can do it to other top tier teams. Can you do that to
Yeah.
a freaking Alabama? Can
well,
you do that to
LSU's
an
gonna
Auburn?
find out. Yeah, so
Can you
LSU,
do that?
Yeah, LSU's gonna have to go play Bama. You know,
That's-
Yeah.
And Chargers win against Indianapolis, ball game in overtime.
Wow.
Just watched it happen.
We need you back, Andrew.
What's your upset
in front
of
of
the week,
their
CJ?
in front of their half
Soccer-
home, half away
Their,
crowd.
their soccer field crowd.
I'm just saying most minor league baseball fields
I mean,
have
my
more
upset
seating
of
than
the
this.
My upset
It's
of
called
the week.
comfy.
Just wait till next season when they have that beautiful brand new freaking stadium that looks like a ram.
Yeah.
So they'll be playing at the Rams Stadium next year.
I am talking. I got 2 upsets of the week.
Yeah.
One's not really an upset, but like USC fucking demolished
They throttled
Stanford.
Stanford.
With a true
Yesterday.
freshman quarterback.
The true
Reggie
freshman
Bush.
quarterback.
True freshman backup.
And he was on
That's on
yesterday
my
during
list
the
right
Michigan
there.
game
Yes,
at the
he was.
halftime with Urban Meyer.
Yep.
But when I saw USC, I was like, holy crap. But then I was like, Stanford I really feel is overrated. They get a ranking every single year, it seems like.
Well, they
now.
don't really have consistent quarterback play ever.
Yeah, and they
you know?
only won by 3 to
And
Northwestern last
it's a
week.
school with a bunch of really smart kids in it, and that's about it. Fuck 'em.
Yeah,
But BYU, who USC plays,
yes,
is no slouch.
that was.
They're no slouch.
But speaking
Bunch
of
of Mormons.
BYU, they beat Tennessee yesterday, and Tennessee.
And there are a lot of Georgia Bulldog fans.
Tennessee
that are happy
couldn't
about
even
that.
beat their own meat at this
Tennessee
point.
Very
has
true, very
fallen
true.
off. You ever seen Biff probably knows this? You ever see the video of like the rapper who goes stupid? I ain't never gonna.
Stupid.
It was Florida State.
Stupid, I will
The,
let-
the tweet
Whatever
said
that
Florida State trying to
rainbow-looking
become
head ass
the
looks
worst
like.
team in college football, and it goes Tennessee. Stupid! I ain't never gonna let you get the chance.
Okay. Well,
That's
okay.
perfect.
No.
But that was one. You actually took it out of my mouth, though. Cal beat Washington.
Yeah,
yesterday.
that was
That was going to
last
be
night.
my upset, though, for week, I guess 3 now, is
Technically.
Hawaii over Washington.
Hawaii.
If Hawaii
Hawaii.
can stop somebody,
Oh, you mean next week?
because
Yeah.
their offense
Yeah, I
is a
can't bel-
freaking machine.
Washington
With Cole
too.
McDonald.
Hawaii?
Hawaii is a freaking machine. They're an absolute machine. With
I don't know.
Cole
I
was
McDonald.
their
I
quarter-
like the Huskies.
Colt
though.
Bennett? Was that their
Colt
quarterback?
Brennan?
Colt
Colt
Brennan
Brennan?
back
Colt
in the
Brennan.
day?
Yeah.
What is this?
He was
The
Hawaii.
ranch?
Sounds like a
Netflix?
porn star name. That's what he sounds like. But yeah, I
Dirk
can
Diggler.
see that happening. But Cal, I think people underestimate them. They have a very, very good defense,
Virginia
especially in
cracked
the
it.
secondary.
Yeah, Virginia beat
Virginia
William and Mary
cracked-
52-17.
They cracked the top 25.
How about my blowout
Local
of the
kid
week
PK
was
Kyer?
Maryland.
Wow.
Absolutely
Just-
I
demolishing
was
Syracuse.
hoping that was going to be a
Raped them.
close game.
You
Yeah,
know-
they absolutely
It was
And then
just
Syracuse
drove them into the ground.
Syracuse is going to be home, and they're going to take on freaking Clemson next week.
yeah, they're just going to
You know.
start their third string.
What? Yeah. I have to see, Syracuse, they beat Liberty the previous week. They shut them out, and then they go up against Maryland, who in 2 weeks have now scored a total of, let me do the math, 142 points now,
Jesus.
and have only given up 20.
Yeah.
Okay? That's pretty
Well,
impressive. for a
you could
team
say
like
the
that.
same thing about Alabama. They played New Mexico State High School and beat them 62-10, and then veritable Kentucky powerhouse Murray State gave up 63 to freaking Georgia.
Yeah, and the fact that Jake Fromm only threw
you know,
for a touchdown,
Right. I think
but their
these
running backs alone had 5.
I think these schools call guys like Nick Saban and what's his name, Kirby Smart down in Georgia, and they go, "Hey, I'd like a new weight room. What do you say we come up and play you guys? And I want to need $1 million weight room. Come on up, we'll beat your ass." New Mexico State. Alabama played New Mexico State. I just said high school. I just put that on there, but they actually scored 10 points against Alabama. 62-10.
You know, another game that's actually kind of underrated is Florida versus Kentucky. Now, I will say Kentucky's starting
Tim Tebow
quarterback
there?
went down with a season-ending injury to his knee. So he's out of the ball game. Otherwise, I would say that could be possibly the game of the week. You got Iowa versus Iowa State. That's where College Game Day will be. That's a pretty decent one. Iowa State's always
I've got
kind
Iowa
of that
State
sneaky
over
little
Iowa.
bastard there. That
Tough at home.
seems tough at home, very tough at home, just like
Yeah.
Iowa. And
I'll tell you what, Battle of PA, I'm really interested to see because Pitt's played well so far. Penn State is this week. So I don't know. I don't know if that's an upset or not. Maybe Pitt goes into Penn State.
Yeah,
but that's the
upsets
hard
them?
part.
My
Going into
upstate-
Beaver Stadium and
my
beating
upset-
Penn
My
State.
upstate.
upset next week is Iowa State over Iowa. Of course,
You gotta,
I'm born
I
from
can see
Iowa.
that too. I can see
So
that too.
you got to
Iowa
go.
State's
And
tough
Penn
at home.
State's ranked number 13. So
And they've looked good.
Our Pitt's 1-1. Not.
And Penn State's look pretty damn good. Sean Clifford's the real deal right
Well,
now.
they had to get their
but they haven't
their
played
head out of their
anybody really
butthole yesterday to beat Buffalo.
Buffalo.
And they were really sloppy in the first half. I mean, they just were.
So, I got another upset. I'm probably gonna get a bunch of shit for.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
NC State over West Virginia.
Oh, what the hell? No,
I
you're
wouldn't even
fine.
say that's an upset.
Like last.
No, it wouldn't surprise me if that
that
happened
wouldn't
at all.
would not
surprise me.
surprise
at
me.
all.
Going back to the JMU game last
I am
week.
really proud of the way the Dukes played the first week, and then they go out against Missouri, against Kelly Bryant, and they looked absolutely atrocious against Kelly Bryant and the Missouri Tigers. And I look back at the first game and I go, was that because JMU just couldn't hold on any longer, or was that because WVU is pretty bad? It must be because WVU is pretty bad this year. They have lost a lot of
Yeah, a little
firepower.
bit
they
of both,
lost.
and then they lost a little steam after freaking almost getting beat by 1AA freaking James Madison. You know, that takes a lot of wind out of your sails, and they're under the guidance of a new coach and a new staff and all that shit. A lot of
under
turmoil,
review?
a lot of turmoil can create problems for your team.
It
right,
looks like
so-
the last play of the game for
It's under review.
Cincinnati and Seattle is under review. Is it a Hail Mary
Oh,
or
no,
is
they're
it
trying to figure out?
okay? But I'm
If
going to
he
go
was
ahead
out
with
of
an
bounds.
upset here, though,
All
for
right.
next week. Oh man, this may be a long shot for me, but like, I could really see Indiana pulling out against Ohio State.
Maybe, and that was
I
one of
would-
my
I
things.
Justin
They're
Fields
sneaky,
looks
man.
I
good.
know,
know that.
They're
but Indiana
sneaky.
is a sneaky team at home.
And
They
the
are.
verdict is still out on Ohio State. They've
It
not
is.
played a quality opponent, and maybe you know
This,
Did they
Indiana.
play
Final-
Cincy?
they
No,
played
they played
Cincinnati.
they played
and,
Cincinnati, yeah.
FAU.
And they haven't lost a team in Ohio for like 100 years, you know? So, you know, big deal. They played Cincinnati.
I'm
That
gonna root
wasn't
for
even.
Ohio State because Justin Fields a former Bulldog. So
Yeah,
And he's good.
okay, that's fine.
Wow.
Did
That
Kyler
good.
Murray finally get a touchdown pass?
Uh-oh.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. How about that?
David
To
Johnson.
David Johnson. Wow. That's my upset of the
What do you
week.
got for locks?
My lock is Washington State over Houston.
Okay.
I don't like Mike Leach has great offenses, and
Washington.
Plus,
when
he's
it
cool
c-
as shit.
when it comes to Houston, part of the Big 12, and they looked awful the past couple of weeks. I could absolutely see Washington State
My-
taking it easily against Houston, no
My,
question.
my lock is I'll go with Alabama. Alabama's going to play South
I
Carolina.
can't do that. I'm not going
I'd
about
rate
that.
I got to do that.
I mean,
Clemson, you never
You're not
know if
wrong,
they could
though.
get tripped up by Syracuse. Syracuse lost yesterday. So, you know, it's hard to tell. But I would say, if we're talking lead pipe and I had to bet some money, I'd bet on Alabama against freaking
Sure.
South Carolina.
My lock is Virginia over Florida State.
How cool would that be for
Florida
freaking
State has looked like
the
absolute
Who's to
dog
go to
crap.
3-0? I
And
want
they
to root
can't
for
blame
them.
this on improper
They've
hydration.
they've looked absolutely terrible. Florida State has, and Virginia's looked for the first time in a very long time looked consistent.
Well, you know, the thing about that is
Looks
and
like
we
Seattle's gonna win, by the way.
We've talked
Sorry to
we've
interrupt.
talked about this for a long time is that what Bronco Mendenhall brings to UVA is a certain class and style, and he's disciplined, he's a motivator, he's got all of those things. And it's not easy to recruit to UVA. It's not the same as getting guys to go to Tech. It's not the same as getting guys to
these
get
big
into
name-
these Power 5 schools and stuff like that. He's not drawing them. And not only that, but it's not easy to get
It
into
looks
UVA.
like Tampa Bay is going to win it. I mean, 49ers are going to win it. How about that?
Did they just pick him?
Pick sixed them.
Yes,
They just
I
picked
cannot
six
wait.
Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston.
What do you do on screen if it's not there? Throw it in the dirt. What does
throw
he
it in
do?
the dirt.
I'm gonna throw it to the other fucking team.
Great job there.
That's the easiest read as a quarterback. If it's there, throw it. If it's not,
If you
throw
got
it in the dirt.
If you got a good look, throw it.
I
If
got
not,
two
options.
Yeah, who
I've
you
got,
got?
two
Biff?
locks. I mean, they're not big games.
No, but go ahead. You
Georgia
gotta-
over Arkansas State,
I saw that.
no, don't. No, I'm playing.
and then Virginia Tech over Furman.
Who's Furman?
Exactly.
No one is
Yes.
picking. No one's
I
having
want-
a lock of Oklahoma over UCLA.
I do want to lock.
no.
I'm going to go against you, Pat. I'm locking Washington over Hawaii.
Okay. Okay.
I,
Don't be Tom.
I guess it is true. Like Jalen Hurts.
I
has
think
looked
everything
something
that I had
real
written
well.
in my notes was touched on today. Everything from the college game. All
We
of it
still
was
have
on there.
hops of the week though.
No,
still to
no,
go.
I'm just saying about all the things that were on there. They were all touched on mine, except nobody hit the New Mexico State High School and Kentucky powerhouse Murray State. Nobody hit on them. But
Well, it ain't basketball, so I don't like my chances.
yeah,
on that.
veritable powerhouse, Murray State.
Where are we going?
It's Hops of the Week time.
Uh-oh.
Last segment of the show.
Yeah.
Before we say sayonara.
Let me
Hops
go
of the Week.
last. Let me go
Yeah,
last.
go ahead. Go last. Mine is baseball, actually.
What?
It just...
Biff's gonna excuse himself. He's gonna change his pants real quick.
It was a game that happened this past week between the Mets and the Nationals. I know I'm talking about it, but like the Nationals came back down 10-4. Was it 10? No, it was 10-5. They were down 10-5 in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Yeah.
And they won on a
Walk-off
walk-off
home run by Kurt Suzuki.
And I saw
on a
that
three-run home
Did
run.
you see the stats on that? The Mets having leading by 6 or more runs in the top of the 9th were like 882-0. And the same thing with the Nationals. The Nationals were trailing by 6 or more in the 9th. Were like 0 for 446.
God.
Well,
and
that is a
that just-
stat for the record.
I just happened to
books,
see
man.
it. I don't know
That's
what
so good.
You know, it was from the Elias Sports Bureau. You know how Kenny Mayne says our stats are better than yours.
And living in a freaking Washington sports town, it seems like everyone was going crazy over it, saying like, "We're still alive, we're still in the playoff hunt, we're still going."
Yeah.
And I thought it was still pretty cool because it is crazy how in just 3 outs, that's all you fucking need. It's just 3 outs, and the Mets just could not do it, and they gave up a 3-run home run for the Nationals to win in front of a home crowd too.
I forgot there was another team in New York.
Yeah, because you're on the other side of the pond.
The
So that's-
Metropolitans.
That's my hops of the week, though. I just really enjoyed that this past week. What you got, Biff?
So I had Antonio Brown, but I'm going to skip that one. I'm going to go with Eric Weddle.
I heard about that.
He got rocked.
He got
Christian McCaffrey went to hurdle him,
Right.
kneed him in the head, and this dude had
It's-
blood just squirting
I
down
think it
his face.
smashed his nose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he pulled his helmet off, and the inside of his helmet was red.
Yeah.
And this dude...
He tweeted out. He went to the hospital. They said they were treated
Football
for concussion
guy.
protocol. Concussion protocol, and he said, he goes, "I'm good as gold." He texted out or tweeted out, "I'm good as gold. I'll be back. I'll thanks."
This
for-
dude-
Daniel Jones is in the ball game.
Uh-oh.
Can you throw a pick? Other team?
Sorry for the silence.
Sorry.
Uh-oh.
And
Sorry,
I
we
just
had to
noticed
watch
that,
Daniel
yeah.
Jones is on the field, folks.
There's less than 2 minutes left, and the
Yeah.
Giants are losing 35-17.
But yes, Eric Weddle is a freaking beast of a man, and that's my hot
Football guy,
Yeah,
right
That's
there.
it. That's the only one you got. You don't
I'm
have
gonna
to?
skip- I'm
I
gonna
got
skip
two.
the
I got
Antonio.
two. I got the Antonio thing. We'll just team off of each other with the Antonio Brown thing. The whole Antonio Brown controversy's got me freaking bugged a little bit. A good friend of mine told me, he goes, "This is a freaking scam. He's going to be in New England before the end of the week." And I was like, there's no way freaking Bill Belichick will have this joker come and disrupt the Patriot system. It's just not going to happen. And he goes, you watch. And then he freaking texted me and he said, "Told you so." And I was like, you son of a bitch. I would have never guessed in a million years.
Well,
Wait, who told you
and
that?
TJ.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
he-
fucking.
Yeah, he did. He goes, "I just had a feeling that if there was any one team that would end up in,
are they
it
going to
would
give
end
him
up
his
in the
mini
Patriots."
fridge helmet?
No, they
His
can't.
alien
No, they
looking-
can't. No, it's
Come on, man.
It's still
You
banned.
call it a mini fridge?
Yeah, you didn't watch the last episode of Hard Knocks?
Is that what he said? It was
Yeah,
a mini
he said
fridge?
his helmet looked like a mini fridge. The new helmet he's got.
The Zenith, yeah.
Yeah, well,
It's a safe helmet.
Giant.
is it going to come out in the future that
This
he
was
got
all set
himself
up?
by
Yeah.
Drew Rosenhaus's agent, and he got himself recruited to New
Is
England,
this all set up?
and it's called the recruiting gate. I wrote that
Is this
down.
one of the biggest controversies we have ever seen?
Well, what came out earlier this afternoon that he consulted somebody about how to get himself released
They
from
said
an
he used
organization.
social networking consultants to
Back
figure
in
out
March.
to determine how he could get out of the situation he was in.
He goes from the worst
Now-
team in the NFL to
Okay.
arguably the best team in the NFL.
Okay, so the
But what's the one team that the Steelers wouldn't trade him to? What's the one team that they
New
wouldn't?
England.
And it makes
New
sense
England.
though. You can't say like, look, yeah, New England, We'll give them to you. No, we want to fucking win a Super Bowl. We're not going to give them to you. It's a business. We're in the business of winning
But
games.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
is
but
that-
here's my
and
thing
Brown
is
knew
that-
that, but where does he end up?
Yeah.
To the one team that the Steelers would not let him have.
I know that, but the Steelers weren't the contention to the Patriots that the other teams were. They're
Very
just
true.
not. It's just not. And so
Not right
I'm
now.
thinking if I'm Antonio Brown, the Raiders wasn't a bad look. I mean, you got Derek Carr. They spent a lot of money trying to get that team to be a contender. And you're free of all the horse shit that you had in Pittsburgh. So why all of a sudden now is New England, when you know you're going to play second fiddle to Tom Brady, you're going to play second fiddle to the new recruit, N'Keal Harry. Josh Gordon just got out of freaking rehab.
Yeah, let me-
You
N'Keal
got
Harry's
freaking-
on injured reserve.
Yeah, I know
But you
that.
got the
But
Super Bowl MVP too, Julian.
you got
Edelman
Julian
on the team.
Edelman on the team. I mean, holy cow! You got Demaryius Thomas. When you think about the guys that they already had in place, how did you think that you would fit in? Not to mention James White and Sony Michel. Okay, you take Gronkowski's not in the mix. You have one football to distribute to 5 potential playmakers, and that's not easy to do.
You got-
You're not throwing to AB on every down.
Edelman, Gordon, Philip Dorsett,
Yeah, Philip
Demarius
Dorsett.
Thomas, and
Yeah.
Matthew Slater.
Right.
I mean, you've got
Well,
six
Slater's a
already.
special teams guy.
Yeah, but still, you got 6 guys at receiver
Yeah.
on your depth chart, and you want to add
That's what I'm saying.
the drama
and,
queen.
and at any one time, you throw in 4 receivers and a running back, James White, and you try and distribute that ball enough to make Antonio Brown happy. And it makes me wonder.
Did
It
the
make-
Lions just throw on third down to give the Cardinals a chance with the ball back?
Holy cripes!
did
and there's
they-
a lot of time on there.
There's 2 minutes and 42 seconds.
That's a lot of time for Kyler Murray.
What the fuck? What kind of call is that?
I don't know.
What kind of call
Look,
is
he's
that?
upset. You know what? It
You
doesn't.
said you got to be shitting me.
Doesn't
I
matter.
know, but he's the one who threw the damn ball. I mean, I don't care about the call.
Can
You're
Kyler
the
Murray
one-
get his first win in the first week?
And how would that be if he did a come from
Yeah.
behind and win
Can
it
this
inside
happen?
the
his
2-minute
his jersey
warning?
sales would shoot through
The
the roof.
NFL social media person is just waiting.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh my God! They just
They
ran into
blocked
the
it.
kicker.
Oh,
no, they just
they,
ran.
They got the
Oh,
block.
they
They
blocked
was
it.
blocked.
They got
Sorry.
it. They got
I'm
it
so
touched.
sorry. Yep.
They
Oh my
touched it.
God.
Was
They
there a
touched
flag?
it. Oh, he got the dog hump on that guy. Did you see that?
Okay. Come on.
All right, so that was my hops of the
Yeah,
week.
that was a block, clean block.
The potential for Antonio Brown, and later all this shit starts to come out about recruiting gate, and I didn't know if it would be accurate or not. Please throw it to somebody on the other team.
How is that not a flag on
Richard
Sherman?
Sherman was just bitch slapping the shit out
I
of
am
Mike
not-
Evans right there.
I know, but I don't care. I'm not a fan. Mike Evans is freaking awesome receiver. I am not a fan of freaking Jameis Winston. I do not like that guy.
Yeah,
And I
well,
don't-
he
it's
didn't
not
want to
like-
steal your crab legs anyway, bitch.
But he's had so many chances and he hasn't done shit with them
Right.
at all. Zero.
Who's
So-
that guy?
All right, Pat.
That was a punter.
Your
All
hops
right,
of the
well,
week.
no, my other one,
Oh,
my
sorry.
other hops of the week was this. You know what? 2018 was the ending for 4 guys that are 4 well-known players, and each of these guys got to step back onto the field this year. Andy Dalton, after suffering a season-ending injury in Week 12 last year. Jimmy Garoppolo, torn ACL, ended his season early. He gets to come back and by all accounts is going to win his returning game coming out. Earl Thomas with the Ravens, broken leg last year with
Starts the game with the
and
pick.
it starts the game and
The
finish
tears
it
are
off.
coming,
And then
Coach.
the
My
other
God.
one, the other one is Cooper Kupp.
Yes, yes.
You know, having a devastating ACL injury could have freaking helped them down the stretch. Who knows what it would have been like?
he
Larry.
dropped it. No.
Let me add another one to that. So,
Sorry.
The Eagles, Brandon Brooks tore his Achilles in the divisional
Achilles.
round.
Achilles.
He tore his Achilles in the divisional round against the Saints. He started today.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
That
yeah.
was in January, folks.
He started.
September.
He started 9 months after a torn
Well, maybe
Achilles.
maybe it wasn't ruptured. If you got a
I
tear
don't
and they
give
can
a
repair
shit. That-
ruptured means it completely detached, and a tear is one thing, but to have it ruptured.
First
and-
down Cardinals across to the 35-yard
Wow.
line.
Here they
Come on, Kyler Murray.
All
And
right.
he's going to have the 2-minute warning.
Oh, I got one more thing to say after
They're trying to
Patrick
get a playoff.
finishes.
Well, my hops of the week isn't related to sports.
Go ahead.
That's
no,
okay.
it's
Go ahead,
anything.
knock
Hey,
it out,
mine,
man.
mine 2 weeks ago was about a sex robot. So
What the fuck
Yeah.
is that? Okay, so
It's a robot that is meant for sex. What are
okay,
you
so
not
my hops
getting?
of the week was on Labor Day. I had to work. I worked 9 hours on a Labor Day.
It's a day of labor.
It's a day of
asshole.
Worked
labor.
8 hours on Labor Day as well.
And
Yep,
you will
and it's a
labor.
bitch. Yep.
I didn't.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Okay, so but we ended up going to Fridays. CJ went along with me. We go with a couple of other
it was on
buddies.
a Monday.
Did you get your friend?
But it was a Monday. Yeah, and it was
Very
Well,
contradicting.
there was nobody. Well, there's like nobody there, and Chris, who I work with, he's a buddy of mine. I work at Chick-fil-A, and he asked me
my
at work.
pleasure.
He goes, "So, do you want to try this new drink called, or it's not a new drink, but I want to try this."
Oh, they just
drink
challenged a
called-
pass interference. They just tried to challenge for a flag on
Hey,
the field.
shut up.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
So he says, "I want to try this drink called Dirty Bong Water,"
Oh my God.
and so
It's bomb, not bong, people.
Dirty Bomb Water. Either way,
Bong.
but the thing that came to my head is who the fuck comes up with these names? So that's my hops of the week is the weirdest names of drinks that you guys have probably ever
And it was
heard.
delicious.
Yeah, and it was fantastic.
was
but why the
fantastic.
fuck is it called Dirty Bomb Water?
Hey, my favorite drink at Outback is Huckleberry Hooch.
Huckleberry Hooch.
I heard of
yep,
that.
and so I got a different.
I've
So I got a
heard of
couple
that.
different names. There's Juicy Lucy. That one's pretty tame. Drunken Sailor.
Yeah.
Dances with Wenches. A Short Trip to Hell.
I'd like to,
Who
I'd like
wants
to
to
meet
go to a-
Lucy.
So, like, who goes to
sounds
the
like
bar and
the,
goes, you know
uh,
what? We're going to take a short, good old stroll down to hell.
Does it
Sounds like
start
the-
with tequila in any way?
Let's
Sounds
actually
like the,
find
vodka.
the bong names from
Red
Dead
Bull.
2.
Okay, so it says
never
Red Bull.
mind.
Red Bull and a shot of Jägermeister.
Oh, I'm done.
So it says with
Just
a
call
quick
me the Uber.
with a quick skim of this cocktail's ingredients, it's easy to see how it acquired the name A Short Trip to Hell. Made with peach, strawberry, and wild berry shaps?
Snaps.
Snops.
Schnapps?
Schnapps.
The schnozberries.
The drink is
tastes like
finished.
schnozberries.
The drink is finished with a can of Red Bull and a shot of Jägermeister. You've been warned.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
So
Hey,
I'd like to meet
I got-
Lucy.
I
though.
just don't how do you come up with these names?
I got
I've
one thing.
never understood that.
Got one thing to say real quick before we get out of here. Jimmy Garoppolo, congratulations. That was awesome getting his win after a terrible season. Hey, we want to make sure that you guys know that we're coming back with All-Stars next week. Our All-Stars are Richmond Lager and Port City out of Alexandria. Port City's Monumental IPA. Those are going to be our next week's All-Stars. Already purchased, already in the cooler, trying to get cold. And that's where we're at. I'm ready for next week,
next
CJ.
week, yeah.
Holy shit.
Nothing
Week 2 in the NFL.
Football is back. I've said it like 1,900 times, but football is back.
Yeah.
And we're going to get out of here, guys. From all of us here at Pub Talk, Biff, CJ, Coach, and Pat, we hope you have a safe weekend.
Drive safe,
because
guys.
it's Sunday
Drive
night,
safe.
and that means it's time for Sunday night.
Knock if you're with me.
But
Hey.
knock on wood if you're with me. But have a safe weekend. Have a great
AB's
week.
not with
we'll
you.
catch you all back here next week. Peace out. Love you guys.